All right, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us today here at STAHLS. I'm your host to today's webinar, Mike Koval, and what we're going to be covering today is upgrading your back to school sales with e-commerce software Spirit Sale. So before we jump in, we have the ability to take questions via chat, and those will be answered by our moderator, and I'll also be pausing periodically to field those questions. So please, at any time during this webinar, go ahead and chat those questions in that you may have, and then we'll get to those as we pause for those. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started here on the webinar. And so with another school year come and gone, it's time to start thinking and planning for the back to school custom apparel orders. Now, traditionally, the work started with meeting with the school or the booster club or whoever it may be and discussing the products that you're going to be selling. And then once all of that's decided upon, their paper order forms are created and then handed out at the school via the students or the teachers or distributed at events, games, etc. But now with the pandemic, we're all facing as a nation, in-person gatherings are not happening, and nobody is sure when or even if those are going to start happening again. And so with that, now more than ever, having an online presence is a must. And now with STAHLS Spirit Sale, you will now have the power of e-commerce at your fingertips. Now, this powerful software will allow you to quickly and easily set up and share a storefront for your school or for any other business types that you may happen. And so the power of e-commerce makes it super easy on you as well as your clients. Let's think of this why for a couple of reasons. One, being online, it's going to allow you to reach more customers than you have ever thought possible. So think of it traditionally, you're normally with your school sales, you're dealing with the local market, and the folks going to that school and the folks that attend the football games. But now think of it, as a countrywide reach. Think of all the students that have, parents or not parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles throughout the country. Now they're going to be able to order and support this school, even though across the country. And now having an online presence, those paper order forms and trying to gather all those in a timely manner, being sure that everybody has turned in their order forms, has paid for all the garments that you're going to be decorating, all that's gone now, because now you're going to be accepting these orders online, and then as they're ordered, you'll receive notifications in real time, allowing you to quickly and easily start working on all those orders and meeting all of your deadlines. And Spirit Sale, with what we're going to view today, makes all of this possible. And so what we're going to cover is, you're seeing on our screen right now, this was just a demo store that we created up for a fictional school. And so we'll take a quick look at this, and then we'll jump on over to the software itself and just show you how easy it is for you to start selling to your customers and your clients online. And so we'll take a look at our site here, and within Spirit Sale, it's going to allow you to create as many stores that you want. Once that you would subscribe to this particular software, it's a yearly subscription that you could renew year in and year out. And this will allow you to create as many stores as you want. And right now we're focusing on schools, but start thinking of it now for any other types of clients that you want to create these stores for. Some other popular markets in addition to the schools is not only the school itself, but think of all the clubs and organizations and sports that are involved with that school. Now you're going to be able to create specific stores for the band, the marching band, the chorus, the ski club, the travel club, whatever else you could think of within this school, you're going to be able to create these stores. And you have full customization on how the store looks. So here we have this graphic here that you're able to upload this, title it whatever you want. And then as we scroll through here, you can begin to see all the various different products that you sell through here. And now obviously with STAHLS and Transfer Express and you as apparel decorators, apparel is going to be a huge market for you. But you're not just limited to selling apparel within Spirit Sale. Think of all the other auxiliary items that go into school sales. Think of the soccer mom decals, the honor student decals that everybody has on their cars, yard signs supporting the athletes for a particular sport. So these are the types of things that you're able to do within here. And then you also have the ability to add a lot of personalization to these types of products. So I'm going to click into this particular garment here. And so here we have a product with the school logo right here, Bellevue, and then now we have another text under here. And so this is where you're going to be able to add personalization, and adding personalization to a consumer adds a lot more value to that particular product because it's more personalized and it's more custom, and it's something that I'm only wearing, not somebody that anybody could buy off the retail shelves. And for you as a decorator, adding personalization typically is going to add also more profitability to these garments for you, again, because you're going to typically charge, if somebody wants to add a custom name or a custom number. And so we have this particular product here for $35, and then you could give them that flexibility. So we have a placeholder here, your sport. And so now, my son or daughter, they play soccer or football, whatever it may be, you could type in that, getting a unique garment that's strictly for you. And so these are the types of things that you're able to do within Spirit Sale. Now what we'll do is we'll jump on over to the software itself and just show you how all of this could come together for you. So Deborah, do we have any questions so far?
Matt was asking about adding your own products, which I did go ahead and answer, but if you want to expand on that a little bit for him.
Sure. So now that we're here at our dashboard, like I said, with being STAHLS and Transfer Express, Decorate Apparel is our bread and butter. And so we have a couple of wholesalers already integrated into our system here to allow you to quickly and easily add apparel, being Sanmar and S&S. And you'll see this here in a little bit as I go through the demo. But you're not just limited to selling decorated apparel. You could sell decals and banners and trophies, wall graphics, really anything you want. You could add these custom products because you're able to build them out whatever you are. So when you'll see here going through the demo how easy it is to add the Sanmar or S&S garments, the custom products, it's not difficult. It's just a little bit more of a manual process because you'll create those products from scratch, meaning uploading the image views you want to see, any product variants, meaning sizes, colors, etc. So you just have to build those out, so it's a little more time consuming at first. But once you have that custom product built, let's say it's a custom award, that's already going to be, it'll save in your Spirit Sale account, and then you'll be able to add that to any other store that you want. All right, and so we're looking here at our dashboard, and this is where you manage everything. Everything within Spirit Sale, it's a cloud-based software, and everything is done online. You're not going to have to install any other pieces of software on your laptops or desktop machines. And another nice thing is it's accessible from anywhere. So you could design on vacation if you want to, from your home, in the office. Everything is handled here at our dashboard. And so before we start getting in creating new stores, you're also able to link a payment setup, so you can manage all the payments for your customers. You could manage the shipping for your customers so that it will calculate shipping costs. So if you are shipping to the individual orders, you can do so. Likewise, too, you're also able to, we have a lot of crossover customers, those who do business with STAHLS, but in addition, also do business with Transfer Express. So you're able to link that Transfer Express account so that for quick and easy ordering of your screen printed transfers. And in addition, that'll allow you to bring in any saved artwork and any of our easy prints templates here, which you'll see how we'll do that as we go through the demo itself. And so here, when it comes to linking payments, we're able to integrate with 3 different payment services. So to accept credit cards on these websites that you create, we could link with authorize.net as well as stripe.com. And these are third-party services. So once you have an account set up with those and you link them, any payments that you receive will go directly into your accounts. And that's nice because a lot of the other competing softwares out there that do things like this, they actually process the payments, and in turn, they take commissions on all the sales. Here at Spirit Sale, 100% of the profits and sales that you make go to you, into your accounts. And in addition to credit cards, we're able to set up with PayPal. Okay, and as far as shipping, now here we're able to integrate with USPS, UPS, and FedEx. And what this will do is when you link any or all 3 of those shipping accounts, it'll then calculate the shipping cost for you. So if you're shipping from Pennsylvania and you have to ship to Nebraska or whatever state it may be, those shipping services will calculate that retail shipping cost based off the weight that you supply to that product, so that you're not missing out on any shipping money there, and you're charging the correct amount. Now, you still will have to generate a shipping label from, let's say, ShipStation ShipStation or some other third-party software, but at least you will get that accurate shipping cost for you, so you're not missing out on anything there. And so those are some quick things that you'll want to do beforehand before creating stores. And so now we'll jump in and just show you how quickly and easily that you could set these up. So Deborah, any other questions?
Hey, Mike, sorry.
Okay.
Urban's asking, can a person create or download a design in the store?
You can upload your own designs, and when you see here some of these different designers, you'll be able to access our templates and our clip art to kind of create from scratch. And then those of you, actually I forgot to mention this earlier, those of you out there who are utilizing our CADWorks Live design software, especially if you're cutting in-house and doing things like that, CADWorks Live is also integrated within here. So all of those templates are there and things like that, so you could design from there. Now, like, you can't design a full-blown logo from scratch within the software, so that would be something that you would do in either Corel or Illustrator, and then you'd be able to import those in and add to any of the products that you sell. Okay. Any others?
A couple more questions just
Sure.
came in. So Hazel's asking about shipping, and do we set up the rates, or does an integration product real-time rate?
Yeah, it'll be the integration in a real-time rate. So let's say if you incorporate your UPS account or your FedEx account or whatever that may be, it'll utilize your shipping location that you set. Obviously, the customer will enter in all of their shipping information, so it takes that second piece of information. And as you build out your products, you're going to assign them a product weight, so it then takes all three of those factors and then calls out to UPS and then generates that shipping cost for you, or FedEx or USPS, whichever one that you use. And another?
Yep, one more question. Just
Sure.
How is sales tax worked into the program?
Sales tax is linked into the system in the back end. Now we have all 50 states' current sales tax rates loaded into the system. Now at this point, it only calculates at the state level, and then it uses the shipping address to calculate that cost. So if you're based in Pennsylvania, but the order's going to Florida, it'll utilize Florida sales tax or whichever state that it's going to. We're hoping to add, some more integrations with other tax softwares, because we do know that there are some counties in some states that have that the sales tax varies, but at this point it just calculates at the state level. Any others?
Nope, not yet.
All right. So keep those questions coming, and now we'll get into creating a new store. So as you guessed it, we'll click on that big link there that said create new store, and then we're brought to the next page where we're going to build the basic framework of our website. So the first step that we're going to do is we're going to name it. And any store that you create here within this environment will always have the spiritsale.com web address. So whatever name you put in here will be followed by .spiritsale.com. And so since we're going to create a fictional school, I'm going to say how did I spell it on here? Bellevue, BELLVUE-SD for school district. So we'll have Bellevue SD .spiritsale.com. And so once this store is created, that's going to be the web address for everyone to access all of the products for sale that you're going to put on this store. So you could then give that to the school district or the booster club or whoever it may be, and they're going to pass that out or post it on their Facebook page or the Instagram page and begin marketing it, so the parents, students, and whoever else that wants to go and buy Bellevue School District apparel could access that link from there. And so the next step, we have the designer that you could choose. And then this will come together where you could start creating your designs. So we have three options here to choose from. We have our STAHLS CAD Cut Designer, which will allow you to incorporate any or all of the templates on the products that we have available at stahls.com through our templates designer. The second one is our Transfer Express Designer. And now this is geared for mid to higher volume orders, because it'll require you to order screen printed transfers from these easy prints, but it'll allow you to bring in all of those templates that we have at transferexpress.com. You'll be then able to edit them to suit your needs for the products that you're selling. And then we also have the DIY designer. And this is one of the more flexible ones because this will allow you to import your own graphics, but also allow you to utilize the CADWorks Live templates as well and anything that you have in your saved accounts. And so I'm going to stick with this one today because we're going to be bringing in some of our own custom artwork. And this one here is ideal when you're doing a lot of personalization. So if you're going to do names and numbers as options or allow them to type any type of personalization like you saw in that original product, this is going to be the ideal designer because in addition, to being able to import your own, but let's say you use one of our system fonts or one of our system templates, this is going to allow you to download those vector assets. So if you use one of STAHLS fonts, you don't have that on your machine to cut on your vinyl cutter, you're able to download that. And likewise, if you find a template that you like, but you're going to screen print it yourself in-house, again, it's going to allow you to download those vector files so that then you could take that production file to wherever you need to, whether it's heat transfer, decals, or DTG, however you need to produce that. And so we'll stick with DIY designer here. And as you add products to these stores, you're not just stuck with using one designer. So maybe one product I could use the DIY designer, but the next product I know I'm going to have a lot of orders for it and I'm going to use a Transfer Express template. This is just kind of a default one that you select up front. And then once you have that designer, here's where you're able to then incorporate the shipping method for this site. And now every site that you create here, it's independent from the next. So if I do a pickup at location on one store, the next store I create, I could activate FedEx for that particular site. So you manage all of that here. And you could have as many shipping options as you want in these stores. So if I'm going to do a pickup and a UPS shipping, and by the way, if I linked one or all three of those shipping accounts, those would show up as options here for me to select. And if you are doing a pickup here, you're able to edit the address so that when they check out, they know exactly where to pick up their order. You could do free shipping on a site if you want, or set up a custom shipping. So like a flat rate of, any order you place, it's $10. You could do that as well. So I'm just going to stick with a free ship today. And then here's where you're going to incorporate the payment methods. So we have those. If I linked any or all three of those options, again, those would show up as an option here. And let's say if I did link PayPal, I could offer PayPal only, or I could do an offline payment and PayPal, completely up to you. And so for those of you who may be asking, I use Square, I use Venmo. So we're not able to integrate with those two just yet. We hope to in the future. So, but right now, if you're using any payment services outside of the three that we're able to integrate with, you could set up a store as an offline payment. And this essentially allows the consumer to check out without paying. You'll receive that order as that there's a balance due, and you'll have all that customer information. So if you are going to send them a link for Venmo or whatever, you could take their email address or give them a call, send them the info you need to so that they could then pay for that order. And then you can mark that order as paid once you do receive that. And then here we have our themes. And again, these themes are just editable templates that you could change the graphics and colors and all that so you can make this site look the way you want to. And you could choose really any of these. It's completely up to you. So I'm going to choose our California template today. And then these last few steps we'll take a look at once we actually finish up a store. All right, so there we just built the basic framework, and now we could click create, and the next step will be to add the many different products that we're selling through this store. So any other questions, Deborah?
Yes, we have a couple.
Okay.
So Erica's asking, can you collect taxes for just the state we're authorized to collect in?
You can turn different states off. If you don't want to collect the sales tax from states you're unable to sell to. So you have these options here in the settings to disable the sales tax if you'd like to. I don't know that you can necessarily just collect tax for one state. I'll have to check on that one. But when it comes to sales tax, it's definitely always best to talk with your accountant to be sure how you're doing all that and make sure you're doing it correctly. But I'll have to check on that one if we're able to disable other states.
Cynthia's asking about accepting credit card payments online.
Yeah, so Yeah, so authorize.net and stripe.com. Those are third-party services that basically will allow you to accept a credit card on these stores. So from what many of our subscribers say, stripe.com is very similar to how Square operates. When it comes to any transaction fees and service charges, stuff like that. And authorize.net's very similar as well, just kind of different fees and different levels of accounts that you could create. And again, all you'll have to do there is you'll visit authorize.net or stripe.com, create an account, and then activate that so that then you could then have that accept the credit cards and payments go directly to those accounts. And I think probably one of the more popular payment methods that folks use with this style of online store is typically PayPal, because I think PayPal is probably one of the most trusted online payment services due to their track record and history of fraud and stuff like that.
A couple more questions. So Stephanie was asking about Square and what isn't integrated yet.
So like Square, we're not able to integrate directly. So that's something that you would have to kind of manage in addition. So when that order comes in, you'll see, okay, Jim Smith ordered that. Here's his phone number. Here's his email address. And then from that point, you'd say, hey, Jim, I just got your order. I'm going to process your payment through Square. Like, I've never used Square personally. I know that, I've seen it at events where they could just swipe your card via the phone. But I don't know if you send them a link or you just enter that credit card information as you're on the phone in your Square account. So that's basically how you'd have to do that. However you normally process Square would be how you would do it here, but set up your site with an offline payment. And then when you do set an offline payment, you could put in there in the message. So if I come back to here and if I do offline payment, I could edit this. And then here you could enter a message and saying, I will call for CC payment through Square. And so when they do check out, they'll see that message that they're going to be getting a call from you to process that payment before processing. Make sense?
Another question is, can shipping be set up different for individual items? I was thinking on items that are pickup only.
So once you set a store, you could set a pickup and UPS, but you can't specify, okay, this product is pickup only. I mean, I guess technically you can, but you could do it in the description, but then again, it's still going to assume that weight as part of the shipment, so it won't be able to separate those two out.
Stephanie is asking a follow-up question, and I think Sandra may have just answered it for us, but she was just wondering, besides Square, what's another one that you can't use? And I do believe it is Venmo, correct?
Yeah, so like the three that we have that we covered there, those are the only three we're able to directly integrate with. So anything else, whether you're using Square, or whether you're using Venmo, or whether you're using another credit card processing company, it's just going to follow that same rules. Allow for an offline payment, but you'll have to contact them once you see that order come in to then capture that payment.
From Maria, can the customer create their account?
They essentially create an account when they're setting up an order, when they're placing an order, which you'll kind of see that here once I go through. Any others?
Nope, that's it right now.
All right. So we have our basic framework built. So now we could begin to incorporate our products. And so here's where we have the two options. We have our stock product, which is integrated Sandmar, as well as SNS activewear. So what I mean by integrated, all of those product image views are already loaded into the system. In addition, each product that's in there, all of the colors that are available, and all the size variants are already loaded in here. So it's more of a point and click, kind of add that product, drop my designs and personalization. And then, for the previous question about adding your own products, that's where you would then add custom products. So here you would need to have all of your product images that you want them to be able to view, all the different variants. So you're basically building a product from scratch. And so for times, and again, it doesn't matter if it's apparel. Heck, if you wanted to sell lawnmowers through this site, you just have to build a custom lawnmower product and pop it in onto your site. We don't limit you to the type of products that you sell through here. And so here, for time's sake, I'm just going to stick with stock product today. So here, clicking into stock, then you're able to choose which vendor that you want. So Sanmar or SNS, it doesn't matter which one. And two, if all you're going to add is stock products, and let's say the first one we add is Sanmar, you're not just limited to just selling Sanmar in that store. You could sell a combo of Sanmar, SNS, as well as custom products. You have that flexibility. And so clicking into Sanmar, here you're then presented with all the various options that they have. So I could either scroll through here page by page to find the items. I could use the search box here to search for a particular item, or I could use all these different categories to find whatever item that I want. And so say I want to sell this particular adult shirt here in my store, then I click into it and I'm presented with all the different colors that are available. And so here you're able to then populate whatever colors that you want. So if I'm going to do a yellow and a purple, that was the school colors. So here I could select the purple and I could select the yellow. And so when the consumer goes to this particular product page, they'll be able to choose their garment color. And so from here, I'm able to then, you'll see the products labeled here, or I'm sorry, entered in here. And now the pricing that you're seeing here reflects as if you purchased this blank item through Transfer Express, because we do sell blank Sanmar apparel through Transfer Express, but that doesn't mean you have to purchase those through us. If you have a Sanmar account, you're still able to purchase directly from Sanmar, and we're able to edit these pricings to reflect our own cost. And now this stock count does pull directly from Sanmar, so it's a fairly accurate representation there of costs. And two, here's all the different products and sizes that are available for this. So for any reason I didn't want to offer, the 2XL, 3XL, and 4XL, I could just click on those and turn them off. And the only thing available to choose would be small through extra large. But that's totally up to you. You could have up to 100 product variants per product here. So I'll just leave those off just for now. Just wanted to show you that. And then here, since the DIY designer was our default, it's already selected. But if I wanted to change this on any other product moving forward, I could just do that here. So I could use a mix and match of designers on all the products. And so here, if you are shipping items, this is where you would assign the shipping weight. So if it was 2 pounds of shipping weight, enter that in here, and then it would utilize that weight to call out to calculate that shipping cost. Now, if you're not shipping, if it's just a pickup, something like that, or you're delivering them yourself, this field will have no bearing no matter what number you put in there. It's just going to be used to call out to UPS. Once you have that, now we'll import our product. And once we import it is where we're going to be able to then decorate it. So any questions, Deborah?
We have a couple questions.
Okay.
How long does it take to load the products from the different vendors?
So meaning a custom product. I mean, it could be as quick and easy as a minute or two. It just really is going to depend on how many image views you're going to have to display, how many variants that you have to add. So like if you added one product that has 100 different color options, it's obviously going to take you a lot longer than if it just had 2 color options. So it's really a tough question to ask, but as quick as a minute or two to 15, 20 minutes to create a product. Again, it just depends on the images, how many images and how many variants for that particular product. And what's nice too is we have a complete training course and various videos. So when you do get subscribed, we have step-by-step tutorials on how you do all of these different features, which we're kind of glancing over today.
So Dash just came in with a question. In custom products, do color options show up the same as SNS would?
Yeah, so if you chose an SNS product, the colors and images will display the same way they display them on their accounts as well. Now with Sanmar, there are a few items that they only sell direct. I think some of the Under Armour, Nike, and I think Carhartt products, so those aren't loaded in here. So those would be sort of custom products itself.
Another question is, do you have marketing material that we can forward to our schools and offer them this service?
Not at this time. That would be kind of still on your end, if you wanted to create any flyers for them. But typically, once folks build that site, that's basically their marketing information and things like that. So, we may consider that down the road in future development for, for marketing materials and things like that. But at this time, it would be on you or even your client to generate any marketing materials for this.
Last question from Maria. The products transfer with the description and sizes. So I'm not sure what that's in reference to. Maybe you know, Mike?
So do they transfer with the descriptions and sizes? Yeah, I'm not sure, but if it's a Sanmar or SNS, all of their products have all of the variants and sizes that are available through each of those vendors. And anything else, any custom products, you basically build those out manually. I hope that answers the question.
One more question from Robert. If the customer switched color, I'm assuming when they're tapping, would the sample color change also? So like when you're on the front end?
Yeah. So like here in this product right here, if we had a purple and a yellow. And you'll see this in this finished store that we're going to quickly do. They'll be able to choose, and then the image view will change when they change the colors of their shirt. Okay. Okay. And so now that we have our products imported in here, this step here is where we're going to add our decorations and add any personalization that we want to. And so in this case, I'm going to bring in my own artwork since we're in the DIY designer. And here I could do a file and import, and it's going to bring up a browser window. So then you'll pick whatever folder, wherever you highlight or store your graphics. And so here I could click on this particular graphic, and then it's going to import in here. And all I'll have to do then from here is simply resize it and position it wherever it's to go onto the shirt itself. And so for full front, I'd say something like this, 12 inches high is probably going to be maybe even 10, be a fair estimate there for a nice front shirt, and position it on here wherever it's supposed to go. And so here this will carry across both colors. So if this was going to go on the yellow and the white, when they choose between back and forth here, they're able to see that different color. And so bringing in your own artwork is one of the simplest and easiest things that you could do. And when you do bring it in, I always recommend having vector artwork, vector PDF, or if you have to save it as a raster image, save it as a PNG or a GIF, because those support transparency. I would encourage you to stay away from JPEGs because you'll have that ugly white box around there. So which won't look very appealing on that. And so here I'm able, if I wanted to change that color, since this is vector, so if I wanted to make this yellow as well, I can. So I could just come in here and pick a yellow here, so I could change that color out. And what's nice is, since this carries across, we are able to create a separate instance of our design on here, so that yellow doesn't look that appealing on the yellow shirt here. So what I could do is, now I have this original design on my purple. Now I'm going to save this really quickly. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the yellow. And so here we have our current design as original, but I'm going to create a separate instance of this because I want this color to be different on my yellow shirt. And so here's our original design. Now I'm going to add this. I'm going to say here on yellow, because I'm going to create a separate instance here by adding. And so now that I'm on yellow, I could go ahead and change this to a different color. So maybe I want to do a different color of the purple. So there's a dark royal, there's purple right there. And so now when I switch back and forth, so my yellow has the purple and white print, and my purple has the yellow and white print. So you can mix and match your design colors based off different colors of the garment as well. All right. And so, like I said, bring it in your own artwork. Super, super simple. But now let's say we want to add some value to this to the consumer and profits for me. So now I'm going to give them the option to put their name on the back of this shirt. So here I have the back view. So now all I have to do is click add text. And then here we have a formatting box where here I could type in a message. So here I'm just going to type the word your name, because this is just going to be a placeholder for us, because at the end, we want them to be able to enter in their own name. So here we have your name, and now we have hundreds of fonts already preloaded here into the system. So they pull from CADWorks Live and from STAHLS.com. You could also import your own as well. So if you have a true type font that you have to use for a particular client or for a particular school, you're able to import those in, so that then now you could use that on these products. And so I'm just going to pick this system font here, click OK, and then it's going to drop that name field as a new design element here. And so here, just like the front design, we'll resize it. So a 2-inch name for an adult shirt is pretty standard, and then position it where it's to go. And then same way, if you want to highlight a different color here, I could click this box and say I just want to allow them to have a white name on the back. And so if we stopped here, they would have the words your name on the back of their shirt, which nobody's going to want that. So here it's simple to make it editable. So just click this checkbox. And so if we were done here, they would be able to enter in their name on the shirt that they wanted. And now here, you could also make this optional. So if you want to give them that option, and if they do choose the option, then you're able to add an upcharge. So here I could click optional. And then here we have a new field called pricing label. So I'm just going to enter this as name so that when we set our selling price, we'll see that new field right there so we can apply that value for them if they choose the option to put their name. All right, and so that will carry across the yellow shirt as well. So there, I have to do that here. I have to do it twice on the yellow since we had a separate instance. So here I will just add that name again. So your name, and then pick that same font, click OK. And now since we're on the yellow, we're going to be able to then change that to a different color. So if we didn't want it white on here, we wanted it purple, I could do that for us. So here I could do purple. So we there have our on yellow, and then we have the white name on the back. Oh, let me go back and save that. I have to save that first. So here, let me add this name, your name, pick the font, click OK. We're into 2. You have to save that before you switch, so that's why that did that. So purple. All right. So edit, optional, yellow, name, save, and then we'll do the same for the original. Edit, I'm going to add that name field here, your name, pick the font, click OK, and now resize it to 2, white, and editable and optional. So save. So now we have both the yellow and the name. All right, perfect. All right. So any questions on adding your design and any personalization here?
We had one question in terms of the files you can upload. Can you upload an SVG?
I don't think you could upload a SVG. You might have to take it into Apparel first and save it as a vector PDF. The ones that have the most success are vector PDF and PNG or a GIF. Any others? All right. So now once you have your design set and saved, now we could go and save. And so the next step is where we're going to manage our variants. And this is where we're going to input all of our costs as well as our selling price. And so here we have all the different product variants in here. Again, had we assigned a specific weight, if we're shipping these garments, we'd put that in there and it would calculate the shipping cost. And then here we have our selling price. And then these next 3 fields here are our costs and what it would cost us as a decorator to produce this garment. And this is only visible to you and internal. So the end user won't see any of this information. This is just used for you to be able to keep track of all of your costs. And so here I could set my costs globally. So we have 3 different fields here to input. So we have our apparel costs or our blank costs. So if I purchase this from Transfer Express, I'd enter in $2.74 because that's what that t-shirt cost me. Now, if you get it from Sanmar and it only costs you $2.25, you'd input that in here. So for easy math today, I'm just going to say this blank costs me $3. And so here is where you can input a fundraiser fee, because we do have a lot of folks who create these sites for fundraising purposes. So here you'd enter a dollar amount for this particular product. So if this school was just a fundraiser and they wanted to raise $4 off every t-shirt, you could supply that there. So once this store is over, you could then calculate how much fundraising dollars you give back to that organization from this sale. Now, if it's not for a fundraiser, but yet you're still managing all the payments, so you're getting all the payments on all these orders, here you could use this likewise as the profit that the school wants to make off of this t-shirt. So say they want to make $4 off every t-shirt they sell here. You could enter that in there again so that you could run a report and say at the end of 2 weeks how much you're giving them back or whatever that may be. And then here we have our transfer cost or our decorating cost. And this is an open-ended field. Since we're in the DIY designer, we're not real sure how you're going to produce this. Sure, you may use heat transfer, but maybe you cut it out yourself, or maybe you order, a competitor's transfer. Maybe you're going to screen print this yourself. So here, whatever this costs you to produce this particular design is what you'd enter in here. So if I screen printed this shirt, let's say it probably cost me maybe $3, $4 or so to screen print. So here you enter in all that information and click update. And so now I know I have a total of $10 in my cost from my decorating the blank and whatever money I'm giving back to my client for this sale. And so then that helps me then determine my selling price. So here I'll set my price globally, and then we have 3 different options here. So we have this first price is if only they purchased this front graphic. So we'd assign a value for that. So let's say $18 for the t-shirt with just the front print. And now here's our upcharges. So I forgot to name the purple name. So this is what we're going to input for the cost if they choose to add that name on the back. So the going rate in our industry for a name is usually around $5, maybe give or take a couple dollars, depending on where you are in the country, or if it's for live event sales, stuff like that, where you may be able to charge more. But you'll just input those factors here. So I'm just going to say $5 to put their custom name on there. And this would be for the purple name, and this would be for the yellow name. And so we could have a total of $23 in this t-shirt when it costs us $10 to produce. So that's kind of the idea behind all this. So click update. And so the selling price is the only thing the end user sees. And if they choose to add their name, that additional $5 that it will cost them. Again, these are just for your internal reporting purposes. So any questions here, Deborah?
Hey, Mike, we've got a couple things that came in.
Sure.
So one is from Matt. Inventory comes from you straight to the customer. So I'm not sure if he's talking about himself or if it comes decorated.
So you're responsible for, when you put up these stores, if you add these products, you're responsible to order the blanks, decorate them, or order any transfers that you need. So none of these will be finished products. You're still going to be responsible for fulfillment for all of these stores that you create.
So then we've got one question, which I think you addressed, but can you change the color of the design once you load the artwork?
Yeah, once you load that artwork, you're able to change it. And that's where vector art comes into play. Like if I brought this, I'm sorry, I went to go to my design center. So if I brought in this image here, but I had saved it as a transparent ping or a transparent GIF, I wouldn't be able to change the colors here since it's a raster image. Now, since this was a vector PDF, I could still highlight each of these individual elements. So the only way to change your color of an imported design here within our designer is if you bring it in as vector. But if you're bringing it as a raster, you'll have to then edit that in Corel or Illustrator prior to bringing it back in with the color that you want it to display.
Last question, is the software for both Mac and PC?
Yes, since it's an online driven software, it's compatible on both platforms, Mac and PC.
Right now.
Okay. All right. So once you have the products, that product decorated and finished the way you want, we're going to publish this product so that when we activate this store, it's on there for purchase. So all I have to do is change this to yes, and I pick a date for this product to go live. Now it is a day before yesterday. We do that kind of just, as a fail safe. So if this site was live, as soon as we finish this process, it would go directly up to the store so that people could start buying it. And likewise, maybe you're working with school. You put up this store last week, and they say, "Hey, next week we're launching a new hoodie with a new design on it. We want to put in our store, but we don't want it to publish until next week." You could pick a date for the future. So if this wasn't to publish until the 22nd, you as a decorator, you get consumed in a day-to-day basis with decorating, selling, taking phone calls and stuff. I might forget on the 22nd to publish this new hoodie for this school. So I could pick a date for the future, so it does it for us automatically. All right, so whatever date you want, we'll click update. And then the last step here, I could either click next, or I could go back to my product details. And then here's where I'm able to title that product here. So here, I'm going to refresh that because that image isn't showing. So there's our product. And now that since we chose a Sanmar product, it's just using the Port and Company PC54 in the general description of the garment. Here I'm able to change this whatever I want to. So if this is Bellevue Adult Tee, I could type that in there, whatever description I want in the name of the product. Likewise here, same thing with the description. I could just keep a general description of the product itself, or say, hey, this is the newest, latest, and greatest design for Bellevue, whatever you want to type in here. That way the customer could read exactly what you want them to see. And so once you have all that stuff set, now we'll click update for that. And now what we did is we just created our first product for this store. And so here now I could go back and I could continue to add as many products to this store as I want. So if I'm going to add another hoodie, a pair of sweatpants, just like you saw on this, if I go back to our site here, we have about 30 different products here. So again, no limit. You just add as many as you'd like to. And then the process that we just went through for this product will be the exact same process no matter how many other products you add. So I can continue to add more Sanmar, more SNS. And likewise, if you add a custom product, once you have it built, you'll still have that same functionality of the designer. So if you put on a custom award and you're going to engrave their name on the front plaque, you could highlight that so they can type in whatever name they want. Now, it's not going to look engraved, but at least you'll be able to capture that name or whatever it is that you're allowing them to personalize on that custom product. So you're not limited to personalization with just stock. You have the full range of design capabilities on stock as well as custom products. All right, so again, we could continue to add more, but for time's sake, we'll just go ahead and finish up the store itself. So here I can come to my designer. And this is where I would pick the theme of the site. Again, we have 4 to choose from, so I'm just going to stick with the one we originally chose. And now I can go in here to the live editor to then edit the design that I want it to be. And so here we have Bellevue SD as the title of our school. And then we have this graphic here. Now I could change this out to reflect whatever I want. And so here, I'll just highlight this and I'm going to hide that. There we go. Click on that, replace, and then here I could upload my own header image here. And likewise here, right now this is what we called the school, is the Bellevue SD, or what the name of our site. I could swap that out with the school logo here if I want to as well. I don't have a logo for here, but I'll just give you the idea. So if I want to come in here and put the actual school logo in there, I could come in here, go into my folder, and let's say this is the school logo here. I could click open and change that. And so rather than have the text-based, I could have the actual school logo here in the middle of the page too. And again, you want to use a vector image here so you don't have that white background or a GIF or a ping. And then here we have the products. And so within these templates here, I'm able to change all the background colors, font colors, and all that stuff here, and change even the way that it appears. So if I want to choose a different font for this to display, it could display different ones too. So, and then I can make these banners and font sizes different. We have a lot of flexibility here in how you want these sites to look, changing out different graphics down here as well. And I won't spend too much time here, but you do have a lot of flexibility in making these sites look the way that you want them to. And again, if we had multiple products, those would continue to show up here. And so I'm just going to save this, and then what we're going to finish now. We have any other questions, Deborah?
Yeah, just one from James. Is there a way to share the sales with a contact person at the school or organization without exposing our costs?
Yeah, so essentially, you're able to run various reports on your stores. So you can come in here to the reports tab and you could select this Bellevue school, and then you could even pick a date range. So say it's been open for 3 weeks so far, you could then run a quick report that says, hey, you have 38 orders, these are the different products that were ordered, and here's where we are so far. So yeah, you could create these different reports and keep these clients up to date for where they are in their sales and things like that. And then when you custom tailor these reports to display whatever information that you want. Okay. All right. So where were we? Okay. Got any more questions?
Nope.
Okay. So now once we had all our products for the store, all the template edited, so it's looking the way we want it to, now we could publish the store itself. And so here we're at the very beginning where we set all these initial options. And so now we'll take a look at the publishing. Very simple. It's just like publishing a product. We'll just turn this on to yes. And so with Spirit Sale, these stores that you create, you can keep them open for as long as you want or for as long as you maintain the subscription. But more often than not, this style of website usually has a limited amount of time. So 2 weeks, a month. They're kind of flash sales and seasonal sales. So you could turn this schedule on, and then you could pick a starting date. So today is the 15th, so it's going to open today. And then here you could choose a close date. So let's say it's just a 2-week fire sale for these stores, for these products. So from the 15th through the 29th, this website will be accessible via that link through that time. Once the 30th hits, the store is closed to the public. Now you'll still have complete access to it and be able, so we know as decorators, we know on the 30th, we're going to get the calls that say, hey, I missed the deadline. Can I still place the order? So you could either choose to enter in orders manually through the back end or just simply reopen this store for another couple of days so that way whoever might have missed that deadline could still purchase the items. And now for me, is if I'm a business owner and I offer personalization on these types of products, I'll never enter an order myself. I would just turn the store back on and said, hey, yeah, I turned it back on. And this way you're protecting yourself. So that way, if you do offer personalization for a name or a sport that they want, and if they misspell it, it's kind of on their end because they made the mistake. You enter it in wrong yourself, then yeah, you're responsible for that spelling mistake. So I'd always encourage everybody, just reopen the store to capture those few last minute orders that you might get. And here, anytime that you have, excuse me, a limited amount of time on a store, I always like to display the countdown clock so that way, when people visit this store, it'll say it'll say store closes in X amount of days, hours, minutes, and seconds, so that the visitors to this site have an exact time of when they have to place this order so that they don't miss that particular deadline. And then here, this step here, we're also able to add other informational pages to these sites. So if we wanted to add like an About Us page or decorating information, shipping information, stuff like that, you could add these different informational pages so you could display whatever additional information you want the clients to see. We have a notes customization field, and this is an open-ended text box that will display during the checkout process. So in our case, there'll be a field there that says notes, and that customer checking out could enter in various texts if they want to ask you a specific question, or if you want to allow for special requests, you can kind of change this label. So if you did want to say a special request, you could change that so that way they could see, they could at least maybe request a new shirt color or something like that. So again, it's up to you. You could use that however you see fit. And then you could also make that field required. So if you want to capture a specific piece of information on all these different orders, you can make that field required, and they won't be able to proceed until they enter that information. For instance, like if this was for, let's say, an elementary school or grades freshman through senior, and you're selling like a class of t-shirt, you could have them require their homeroom number or something like that to help you organize your order. So you could use that however you see fit. And then here we have the ability to password protect sites as well. So if you turn that on, you'd supply it with a password here so that way they have to enter in whatever password you supply to access that store. Now, this isn't a commonly used field, but I think most people, or most commonly used password sites, there's like if you're setting up an employee store, maybe for a local coffee shop or something, and you're setting that store up for the employees to purchase their uniforms or workwear or something, you could enable that password so that only those employees have access to the site. And then for fundraising sites, you're also able to display the goals. And I'm going to quickly show you what that looks like here on another demo site. And so those metrics are nice for fundraising sites because here you are able to then display the title of that fundraiser, the goal of the fundraiser, and then go back to that fundraising field when we're setting our costs. You could, whatever number you supply there is whenever anyone purchases one of those items, here it'll keep a running tally of where they are toward that fundraiser until they meet that $10,000 goal. I think that's just a nice thing to display on any fundraising sites because too, I think people might see that and kind of encourage them maybe to buy a few more items to help whatever organization achieve their fundraising goals. So those are the options you have when publishing your site. And so once you have all this done, we'll click update. And so we just finished our first store. So any questions before we take a look at it?
We've got a couple questions.
Sure.
So one is Deanna. She asked about multiple items in one store, and I know that you can, but I wasn't sure if there was a maximum number of products you can have in a store.
You could have an unlimited amount of products in a store. The only limit you have is the amount of variance per product. So if you had a t-shirt that was available in 40 colors, you want to be careful in offering all those because colors times the size will equal the number of variants. So you just want to keep your colors limited, or if you want to offer more colors, some folks will kind of split up a product. So like one product has white, red, black, and green. The next product be the same one, but allow for pastel colors or neon colors. So those are just things you want to keep in mind when it comes to limits. The only limit you have is the number of variants per product.
This question is in regards to, can a person on the website create or download a design in the store? So I'm thinking that he's talking about virtual.
Yeah, so this isn't like a custom ink style where they're able to pick and choose different garments or design from scratch. You're giving them all of the options right up front. So in this store here, these are what they're able to buy. The only options that the end user will have is whatever personalization fields you set. So like for this product, it's the your sport here, or if you offer a name and a number on the back, those are the options you give the clients. So we wanted to keep it as simple and easy as possible because sometimes you may lead into a whole new can of worms if you design something from scratch and stuff like that where the file format's just not correct. So you give them all the options up front for what they're able to choose.
That's it for right now.
Okay, so now let's take a quick look at our store. And so here's the store we created. We have our countdown clock, the images, and the school logo here. Obviously that should say Bellevue, but I didn't have one that time. And here is the product that we have. So if I want to click in, I'm a consumer to this site. So here's the product I'm able to do. So here's the only thing I'm able to do. I can't manipulate this design in any other way, but I can, view the different colors. So here's the yellow. You see my design change from purple. So you have those options. And then here we have your name. So if I check this, it's going to turn this around and it's going to allow me to input my own last name. So here we assigned a $5 cost to have my name on the back, and so it updated it here to $23. And so now I would just select whatever size that I want, color that I want, and now I could add it to the cart. And so I'm just going to walk through the checkout process here just so you could take a look at what an order looks like when it comes through. So here I'm going to continue to checkout, and our checkout process, it's just like any other shopping cart experience that anybody's ever went through. Customers and all of their pertinent info here, so email address, first and last name, and obviously their shipping address. And so here I'm able to continue to delivery, and here's that special request field. So here I'd be able to type in, hey, can I get this shirt in white or black or something like that? And then you would get that notification in the order if they wrote something in there. And so continuing to delivery, we just did free shipping, but let's say we activated UPS only for this site. It would then give us UPS ground and then whatever shipping cost it would be based off the weight and all the address information. And here I'm going to continue to payment. And so we just chose the offline payment. So we'll call for credit card payment through Square. So that customer knows now I'm going to complete this order, but you're going to be calling them to finalize that payment. Now, if we activated, say, PayPal for this particular store, they'd enter their PayPal information, and then as soon as the order was processed, that order would come to you as paid, and then you'll see that $24.38 in your PayPal account. And so now I can complete the order. And so I would receive, as a customer, a confirmation email with the order that I just placed, the order number, and basically just a repeat of this page. And then you, as the Spirit Sale owner, you get email notifications every time someone places orders on your store. And so here I'm going to come back to our dashboard. So here we have a new order created in the last 24 hours. And so here I could click into my orders, click in there, and now when you first click into your orders tab, this is every single order that's been placed on your stores. So they do come in at the order that they were received. So I know this one is ours, but you could sort them by store here. So if I click on store, I could select whatever store from this drop-down list just to see that specific store's order. So ours is Bellevue. So if I clicked on Bellevue, it's only going to show me that one order here. And so now here it says my payment status, that there's a balance due since we did the offline payment. So here I could come into my order. Here I could take a quick look at what was ordered, and then more importantly, who ordered it. So from here, I'm able to email or phone call so that then I could capture that payment with my Square. And so here's that special request. So if they entered anything in here, it would show up here in this field. And so now we did this payment as an offline. So you gave me a call, we squared away our payment. Now you could click on this checkbox, and now it's going to flag this order as paid. So if anybody else needs to come in here and see who still paid you, now you know that you captured that payment here via Square. And so to start working on this particular order, here I could schedule production. And this is going to give me a quick look at just this single order of what I would need in order to produce it. So here I could assign it to a user. You could add other users to your Spirit Sale group, so that way you're able to assign maybe a production guy, a particular order, stuff like that. Set a start date, due date, enter any notes. And so now I could scroll through and see exactly what files I need and what garment I need for this particular order. And so here, since we chose the DIY designer, I'm able to download a vector PDF. So if I'm going to cut it in-house on my vinyl cutter, I could do that, or I'm going to burn a screen for my screen print press, I could do that as well from that vector file. And likewise, if I'm a customer Transfer Express and I'm going to order these as screen printed transfers, I could open this directly into Easy View. I could lay out my gang sheet and order my stretch or ultra color soft or my goof proof transfers, whatever I need in order to produce that. And so this being a very simple production group of just one order, what's nice about Spirit Sale is you're able to create these production groups however you see fit. So in our case, let's think of our store. It's open for 2 weeks. Now, if I'm a business owner, I'm probably not going to start production on any of these orders until that 2 weeks is up. So once the 2 weeks is over, I know all my orders in. Let's say I have 100 orders that came in for this particular t-shirt for that store. Rather than work on it individually, I could take all those 100 orders and put them in one big production group. So if we did that, in our case, it would say you need 100 of these transfers, all the different personalization, and all the individual garments. And so doing it that way, you're able to generate some different reports here to help you manage this orders and get everything into your shop as you need it, helping you reduce any inventory that you have for this type of store. And so here, if I do the reports, I could go to the purchase order section, and that will break out all of the products that we need to order. So if this was the only t-shirt we were ordering for this store, it would then, if we had 100 pieces in here, it would tell us all the sizes, colors, and quantities of each that I would need to order. So I could generate a purchase order here, send it directly to Sanmar or to my rep, or enter it online to have those garments come in. And likewise too, it's going to help me know how many screen printed transfers I have to order or files that I have to cut. If I'm cutting it all out of vinyl, it's going to help me know how much I need to order. And so some other nice handy reports in here is, again, if I could generate a work order, and this is a more detailed look at it. And so for a larger site with multiple products, this is really helpful. Ours is super easy because it's just one product. So we just have the garment that was ordered, the transfers that I would need. But what I like most is it gives you a visual of the garment that's to be decorated. So if you do have multiple products, it's a very handy tool here so that you can print these off, hang them in your production room, or even if you're farming this out to a third-party printer, you could then pass this off to them so that they get a roadmap so they're decorating each and everything correctly. And so one last thing I like to highlight here in the production board to help you manage your orders for all your stores, it's our digital whiteboard here. So we have our open and we have our completed queue. And all of these little rectangles here represent your individual orders or your order groups that you create. And then every queue in between, you can make a new board here so you could then mimic your production process. So if this is our order, I know we started working on it, we ordered all of our transfers and our garments in, we can position it to the ordered queue. And as these things come in or you start working on these orders, you could then walk them through your production process so that you could get a bird's eye view of your day-to-day production, what you need to do today to ensure that you're getting out all your orders in a timely manner for when you promised your clients. So, I mean, that's the really pretty much the overall review of Spirit Sale and how it could benefit you in your school sales. And so we'll see if we have any other questions, and then we'll touch quickly on how to subscribe.
Hey, Mike. Okay, so a couple questions. One, does it give the customer a shipment estimate time-wise? I don't think that it does, but I wanted to.
Yeah, it won't do that automatically. So that's the perfect case for those informational pages. And this how most folks would do something like that is they'll create that other informational page that says order and shipping info. And so in our case, that store was open 2 weeks. Say, hey, production will start. When did I say it closed? On the 29th. So production starts on the 30th, allow a week in production time for delivery. Or, oftentimes with school, folks will take in all their orders, decorate them, and just deliver them to the school. And then the school handles the distribution. So those are the kind of things you'll put in those informational pages there.
Another question is, once you close the store, what does the order process look like? That you kind of went through that, but the question is, like, are the orders exportable into Excel?
Yeah. So you could come in here and I could come in to generate different reports here. And so here I can come into my order revenue and I could generate different reports here. And so here, if I want to show the line items of everything that was produced, so then here I could pick a store. Let me go to my store here. So Bellevue SD, I could configure that report, click apply. And then here I'm able to see, okay, order number this was the Bellevue Adult Tee, here's my SKU, when it was ordered, and all this different status of it. And if I wanted to see where the shipping address, billing address goes and all that stuff, I could do that in reports here. And that's more that I could export as a CSV file. But I think too, using these production boards is a really handy tool to get those various things that you're going to need. So let me go back into one of these. So here I can come into this particular order. And so this is just a random one. So if I generate that per work order, this will give me a more detailed look of everything that I need for that particular production group. So you could do it in kind of a couple of different ways via Excel with the reports tab or using these work order reports. What was that?
I said there's one more question.
Okay.
Can the system print out shipping labels for orders?
Shipping labels, you would still need to run those through like ShipStation or another third-party label creator. So like I said, here in linking the shipping accounts right now, it's just utilized in calculating that retail cost for you. And we're hoping to have some future integrations of this down the road where we can link to ShipStation or other third parties, but at this time you still have to run it outside of Spirit Sale. Okay, so more importantly now, the subscription to this. So the cost of Spirit Sale, the subscription fee is $599 $599 for 365 days of access. And so that $599 gets you an unlimited amount of stores with an unlimited amount of products. So there's no limit to the type of products. So whether it's apparel, promotional products, drinkware, stadium chairs, decals, whatever it is, you're able to do that. No limit to the amount of stores. So you could have as little as 1 to 1,000. And most importantly, like I said, many of the other third party or other software companies that do similar things like this, they're going to take commissions on all of your sales. So really the only thing additional outside of the $599 is if you link any of these 3 payment services. Now they all have their own native transaction fees that come right off the top. You'll still be responsible through those, through the third party, but we're not charging you anything additional for utilizing those services, whether it's payments, shipping, things like that. It's the only thing you'll see from STAHLS is the $599 per year. And then any updates or anything like that that happens under that, falls under your subscription fee. So you're not paying, if we update something, you're not paying anything additional for that. So, if there's any other questions, I know, Deborah, we're going to be sending out the recording of this, and for any further questions, just please feel free to reach out to me or STAHLS, and we'll be happy to help you out. So if there's no other questions, I appreciate everybody's attentiveness today. All great questions. You made it pretty easy on me. Any other? All right, no problem. Thanks, guys. You guys have a great day.